to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I wake.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mike Hess with the Dive for Tomorrow. Just checking in.
I think I talked to you this morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's meet at we're gonna leave the dock by 7:30. So meet at like 7:15 or something like that.
Perfect. Thanks, Chuck.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Shark cage diving. This is something that's been at the top of my bucket list for an extremely long time. My love of the ocean, my love of sharks, it all just kind of came together, and after doing some research, I found Sea Turtle Charters. So this is Captain Chuck. He is the owner and operator, and right now he's trying to chum the water to attract as many sharks as possible. Between the tasty treats and actually even hooking them up to a Poland Spring water bottle to be used as an alarm system, which is somewhat like the movie Jaws, just on a more reasonable scale. But considering that he's the professional, here's how Chuck explained it to us.
Ground up into little bits. As that thaws out, it's gonna leave a chum line in the water. Chum line's like a fence. Sharks smell that within a mile, they say. Get something within a mile of us. Hopefully they come into our slick. You hear this? Look at the water bottle, see if it's getting dragged underwater. Sometimes you'll see a fin around it, kind of like our shark alarm. All right.
Once we were brought up to speed, it was time to get the cage in the water. The reason being, we needed to get comfortable with it and understand how it was going to feel to actually be bounced around inside of it before the real shark showed up.
Well, if they eat me, I hope I'm yummy.
After last night's meal, yeah.
Getting in the cage was actually a little bit more difficult than I thought. Considering I was holding a GoPro and the boat was rocking around a lot, it was just difficult trying to see the bars that you were stepping on. But once my head was submerged underwater completely, it was like a brand new world. It was one of the most surreal experiences that I've ever had in my life. It's kind of like being at the aquarium, except you're the fish in the tank and all around you is just open ocean. I mean, even looking straight down just leads to nothing. And then once Devin actually joined me in the cage, we realized just how small it was. With the boat bouncing around, it was really hard not to bump into each other or bang your head off the side of the cage. Even so, we were really excited to hopefully start seeing some sharks. So once we were comfortable, Devin and I climbed back out of the cage and got safely onto the boat. And then it was time for our good friends Emily and Brian to take their turns getting into the cage and seeing how they were going to feel. After that, it was just a waiting game. We all took our turns hanging out, staring at the water, munching on some snacks, basically waiting for a fin to arrive. Even had Jesse up on the lookout, hoping to see something himself. And then, after 2.5 hours of waiting, we saw our first fin. That fin, however, did not belong to a shark and in fact belonged to a minke whale. Minke whales are one of the smallest whale species, but still reach up to lengths of 26 feet. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity to break a different bucket list item, which was swim with a whale. So I threw on my snorkel gear, hopped into the water with the chum, and tried to get a better look at the minke whale. It was really hard to see, especially through all that chum floating around, but eventually I caught a glimpse. She was absolutely massive compared to me in the water. After about 5 minutes of trying to get a better look, the girls joined me in the cage and hopped on the respirators. They decided to name her Marla. As time went on, she continued to make passes, each time getting a little bit closer. We were able to really start to make out the details and just see how big she really was compared to us. And just when we thought she wasn't coming back, Marla decided to make her closest approach of the day. This was definitely one of the most amazing experiences I've had in the water, and I achieved my bucket list item of swimming with a whale. We waited for a while longer to see if Marla was going to come back, but unfortunately, she swam off and did her own whale things and didn't return to see us that day. Now back to the original mission of seeing a shark. I got into the cage as a last-ditch effort right at the end of the day to hopefully see one. As much as I wanted to, I'm sad to report that we did not end up seeing a shark that day, but hey, we got to swim with the whale. All this means is that in the spring, I will be heading back out to the open ocean to break this bucket list item. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again.